Hello and welcome to my video. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at one of the graphics cards that I brought back to life using the heat gun method. It's Frankenstein. The R9 370 8GB, the card that arrived with me in a very sorry state with the previous owner having taken apart the graphics card to try and repair it. He lost the screws, broke the fans, and generally made a right cock-up of the card. I was collecting a GTX 970 off him that I bought on Facebook Marketplace for only £20 late last year, and he threw this one in for free. The card would display initially and then black screen upon driver install. I gave it the heat gun treatment, made a makeshift pair of fans, and it did the trick. The card installed the drivers and ran Valley for a good 4 hours without issue. Now, we know that this method of repair is very hit and miss. It could last a day, it could last a year, who knows? But I thought I'd try and stress it in a real-world scenario by spending a few days running some games on her and taking some benchmarks. The test system that we're using here consists of a quad-core, 8-threaded, Ryzen 3 3400G processor, 16GB of memory, and the games were installed and running on my test solid-state drive. One thing I was very happy with was my makeshift cooler. These cards run notoriously hot, but Frankenstein did not, largely keeping around 40 to 50 degrees under load. MSI Afterburner was not happy with it though, refusing to report the card usage and telling me it was only using 8MB of the card's memory. First up, Fortnite, and at native resolution, 1080p with performance mode, the game ran brilliantly, averaging 135 frames per second with 1% lows of 59. Moving on to Red Dead Redemption 2, and the game defaulted to ultra textures with a mixture of high and medium settings, again at a native 1080p. Running through the in-game benchmark, and the game gave us a solid performance with an average of just below 60 frames per second and a minimum of just under 30. Not bad at all. Onwards and upwards now, and as you would expect, AAA titles from around the time that the card released were no issue to this old AMD flagship. We could max out the settings, and at 1080p, we never saw the game drop below the built-in 60 frames per second cap. Next up is Valorant, and a game that I've never ever played. My son recently started playing it, so I thought I would take a look at it. I know that it is very forgiving on system requirements, and it's one I downloaded mainly to look at on lower-end hardware. It's a popular shooter, so I thought, why not throw it into the mix here? As expected, the game ran really well. 1080p and high settings saw us achieving an average frame rate of 153 and a 1% low of 71.5. At this point, it's a question as old as time. Can it run Crysis? It's the original version, again, installed primarily for older hardware that I want to test. But again, I thought, why not? Maxed out, and it's a demanding game to run, even in 2026. It still amazes me how good it looks for a title from 2007. 1600 by 900p on this one, and we got an average of 70 frames per second and a 1% low of 38. Wrapping up with Counter-Strike 2, and the game gave me high settings, so I just went with it. I couldn't get a benchmark out of this, but as you can see, the game ran well, offering around 90 to 120 frames per second throughout, with odd drops down into the 60s. This was in a bot match because I'm terrible in any other match and can't cope with being dead after around 10 seconds. I believe you get a better experience in normal matches if the CPU is a bottleneck, but I don't think that's the case for us. Nothing was getting near full utilization, and I believe that the RAM speed combined with an early Ryzen chip was holding back the frame rate. Counter-terrorists win. Now, while I'm happy that we've brought this card back to life and have a free 8GB graphics card to play around with, I'm under no illusion that this is not a perfect fix. Frankenstein has his quirks. Like this random artifacting that only occurs on the boot into Windows. Seems before it didn't want to work with drivers, now it doesn't want to work properly without them. I'll take that. I have no doubts that while for the moment, he's alive! He's alive! It won't last very long. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, then please do like, subscribe, turn on notifications, blah, blah, blah. Until the next one, bye!